seen thousands of years of human invention. But how does our generation measure up to the geniuses of the past? To find out, I've challenged a team of top engineers to recreate the machines that changed history.
Are you ready to see what challenge awaits you this week?
Yep. First, they must rebuild each one, using only the original materials.
I really think we're going to struggle with this one.
Then use their 21st century knowledge to try and improve on them.
I think this kicks ass.
When they're put to the test, will they have upgraded a masterpiece, or will they have bitten off more than they can chew?
It's complete evil warfare.
It's present versus past, and the reputation of modern-day man and woman is at stake.
I think we can beat the ancestors and have fun getting it.
Welcome to my Build HQ. Behind these doors lies everything my team need to recreate a wondrous invention of the ancient world.
This week our team will be making a deadly weapon of war. When the mighty Roman legions took on us poor old Brits with this monstrous machine, we didn't stand a chance. Our team have got their work cut out for them because it was engineered to perfection. It was so good, it gave the Romans a real advantage in their quest to conquer Europe.
Over 2,000 years ago, Imperial Rome dominated the Mediterranean. But the masters of Rome wanted more. They wanted to rule the whole known world. But to become a superpower, they would need a super weapon. So they came up with this, the catapulta, one of the first pieces of battlefield artillery. At a distance of nearly 1/4 of a mile, its awesome bolt-throwing capabilities could outshoot any of the competition. When the Romans invaded Britain in 43 AD, the catapult was instrumental in defeating the ancient Britons, subjecting them to Roman rule for the next 400 years. Having assembled my team at Build HQ, over the next 3 days, I'm going to challenge all of their modern engineering expertise. Claire is a special effects engineer in her day job, so she's used to trying to achieve the impossible.
Mental to be competing with the Romans. That's really exciting.
Master blacksmith Owen has made everything from swords to crossbows, so he knows exactly what the team were up against.
2,000 years ago, the Romans were doing an amazing job of making a machine as complex and efficient and well-designed as this one.
Matt is a Hollywood prop maker with a keen interest in military history.
This week's challenge is really, really tough. We're up against the Romans, and the power of the thing is undeniable.
Plain-speaking mechanical whiz Jamie has been tinkering with machines since he could hold a spanner.
On the skill front of this, the Romans have definitely got the upper hand. They were very, very good engineers.
And last but not least, there's Chris, a highly skilled carpenter.
It's going to be brilliant to build. Can't wait to get stuck into this.
Morning, team.
What do I do?
Ready for this week's challenge?
Yes, definitely.
Anything with lots of wood gets my vote.
3 days isn't very long, is it, Claire, eh?
No, it isn't.
Anything we don't want to do this week, Jamie?
We're ready for anything.
Anything at all?
Anything, yeah.
I'm providing the team with a blueprint based on the Roman original.
Hey! Right,
Set of blueprints.
the Roman catapulta.
Looks more than a catapult though, doesn't it?
It's like the best catapult you've ever seen.
How big would this thing have been?
Well, it says there the bolt length. That gives you an idea. That's just under a metre.
metre.
Pretty big. And if we make this absolutely bomb-proof in terms of construction,
It's going to have to be.
because big machine, you don't want to go wrong.
In a world where hand-to-hand fighting was the norm, the catapult was essentially a massive catapult that was capable of firing a deadly bolt 350 meters. To construct this extraordinary Roman machine, the team need to build a wooden frame, a firing mechanism, and the most important elements, a pair of rope springs and bow arms. The Romans used this weapon for hundreds of years, constantly refining it until it was nigh on perfect.
So where are we taking it forward?
We want to go bigger, don't we?
I think we should.
What's that? Just for the sheer fact that bigger is better.
Bigger isn't always better, but it will give us more power.
Well, there's 5 of you. You're taking on probably the greatest empire that the world has ever seen, the Romans, yeah? Anybody worried?
Yes.
Yeah, a little.
I think this stand should be all right. I think that stand.
Decent challenge?
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
Good. Very good.
Good luck, team. I look forward to this.
This is like the best kid's toy in the world, ever. We're making a thing that flings a big arrow a long way, and you never get a chance to do this. This is a dream job.
The first task is to build the wooden frame. Although the team can use modern tools, they have to use the materials that were around in Roman times. The team have decided to build their catapulta 1.5 times bigger than the Roman original. So they're going to have to use the toughest wood available to them, good old English oak.
This is massive,
Yeah, it's big.
isn't it?
It's big.
Into the wooden frame, carpentry expert Chris is making holes that will eventually house the rope springs.
This is exactly how it would have been. There would have been a man sat on a big bit of wood with a hammer and a chisel, and he'd have been cutting holes in big bits of wood. This is absolutely no different. This is, sometimes the way they've been doing it for centuries is the best way to do it. And this is it.
Time is not on the team's side, and tomorrow they have to turn 300 meters of rope into powerful springs. It's a gargantuan task.
This week the team are tackling a machine that helped the Romans conquer Europe, the mighty catapulta.
A weapon of war that was far ahead of its time. The catapulta's amazing capabilities are down to these 2 coils of rope, which are contained within this wooden frame, the torsion box. The coils are made of hundreds of meters of rope that has been tightly wound and then given an all-important twist. When the wooden arms are winched back, the coils act like high-powered metal springs, capable of firing a bolt over 350 meters. It's early on day 2. The team's big job for today is to build the rope coils and torsion box. Yesterday the team decided their machine was going to be 1.5 times bigger than the Roman version.
Everyone's a bit overawed by the size of it. It's going to be a big machine.
Which means that every element is extraordinarily large, right down to the pins that hold the wooden frame together.
All right, it's a bit bigger. The hammers are getting bigger. I love it. We started off with that one, wasn't big enough. We went to that one, still not big enough. We got that one. I'm still not so sure.
Leaving the team hard at work, I'm off to see how the rope springs and torsion box perform in action, with the help of a leading British expert in Roman artillery. This is a replica of the catapulta's baby brother. Small but deadly, no wonder it's called the Scorpion.
The engineering is phenomenal. How do you know it's right?
This whole frame, everything you see there, is a millimetre accurate copy of a frame found in the bed of the River Rhine, and everything was on it, except the sinew rope.
When you say the sinew rope, obviously this is very modern. The rope's a very, very important part of this, isn't it?
Oh, it's a key thing, yeah.
The sinew rope was made from the shredded Achilles tendons of deer and horses that was then spliced together, making it was a messy and smelly job. But it gave the catapulta unparalleled strength.
This is going to store you more energy than the same weight of spring steel.
Going through the operation of this now, all the energy that's going to go into the bolt that sits on here is all stored in here.
In these rope springs. With a spanner we could add more torsion, twisting, forcing the arms forward, and that would turn into a bar of iron. You wouldn't be able to move it at all.
Now, winching the actual string back, this must be quite important.
Well, you can't do it without. That bowstring, you wouldn't move it a fraction.
I love the trigger mechanism.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the first robotic replacement of a piece of human anatomy, because it's the archer's fingers on the string, and behind it is a locking lever,
Yeah.
So that it only comes out when you want it to. And that's called a snake, because when you release it, it's going to deliver the deadly sting.
Comparing it to an ordinary bow, how much more powerful would this be?
4 times the most powerful longbowman, who pulls about 85 kilograms.
We've always been very proud of the British longbowmen because they're just so strong and so capable. 4 times as much throw.
4 times, yeah. It's about a third of a ton to pull this back.
You definitely need a winch then, don't you?
You definitely need a winch, yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at this now and thinking, I want to have a go.
Why not?
Shall we? Working the bowstring back with the winch, I can feel the power contained within the torsion box resisting my pull. It's getting a lot harder. I couldn't physically pull that anymore. Whoa, look at that! That was well and truly hit, isn't it?
Yeah, and here's a brain liquid coming out at the back. It's done its job, hasn't it?
The scorpion's definitely got a sting in its tail.
Yes. Empire safe, job done.
Back at Build HQ, the torsion box is starting to come together.
That thing actually looks Roman.
Before they go any further, the team regroup to assess where they're at.
How heavy is this, do you reckon, now then?
350, 400 kilos.
Yeah, I bet it's pushing on 1/4 of a tonne quite happily, if not more.
So, this is good news, I think.
I have to admit, I didn't respect at first how big it was and how heavy this thing was going to be. I really didn't respect that.
We said yesterday that we're going to lose 2 men just doing the tension on these ropes, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, as soon as this is done and welded up, we've got to get on that.
As far as we know, no one has ever attempted to build a catapulta of this size before. No one really knows what's going to happen when it gets fired. The whole build is a health and safety nightmare. There is every possibility that the catapulta could be more dangerous to its crew and to its target. It's possible that when the catapulta is fired, it could tear itself apart and shower everybody nearby with deadly shrapnel. So, for their own safety, the team need to cut, screw, and weld several square meters of metal plate to the torsion box.
A lot of the machines that the Romans built, it was probably trial and error. They probably lost a few on the way, kind of thing, and obviously we don't want that to happen to us.
Here at Build HQ, engineering guru Todd is always on hand to get stuck in when things get tough. And Todd knows the enormity of the task that the team have taken on this time.
Catapulta had a working life of about 800 years minimum, at least. All of those people, for all of that time, thinking about this problem, getting it better and better and better.
The thing that sort of scares me most about what they're trying to achieve is how do you get the energy into that torsion box? Because the idea of bending against the actual string, the rope, the sinew, whatever it is, that's a big, big challenge.
It is, actually. It looks a little bit superficial. You think, oh, well, you just wind some rope through and then you twist a little bit of this and you know, and you'll get some force out of it. In here, the tension that bundle has to be under to give the energy back into the arms is just extraordinary. By the time they're done, there will be, nobody really knows, but 20, 30, 40 tons compressing those 2 beams together. It's going to be massive forces.
The team are now halfway through their 3-day build. Jamie and Claire have started work on the catapulta's trigger and winch mechanism. But the task the team can't put off any longer is the construction of the rope coils that will eventually give the catapulta its awesome power. Owen wants to ensure that everyone knows what's required.
And the rope's going to literally be wound over a bar here, and over a bar there, up and down, and up and down, and up and down, under tension though. So each time we go up, we're going to have to tension it, lock it off, hold it there whilst we push it back through the other side, tension it from the other end, lock it off. It's going to be an awful lot of work.
How much rope are you going to...
100, 150 metres.
Crikey, so that's...
100, 150 passes.
That's going to take quite a long time
Yeah,
to
it is.
do
It's going to take a long time.
The Romans would have roped in a huge team to string the torsion box. Our lot have just got Matt and Owen.
Let's get it through.
Notoriously hard to produce, sinew rope led Roman engineers to label it as the Tormentor. Instead of the sinew, I've allowed the team to use sailing rope, as it has similar properties and is readily available.
By hand.
What was a tough job for the Romans is proving just as difficult 2,000 years later.
Put a brake on it there.
And how do you get to the other end?
You just feed it through.
Well, we won't be able to, because the feeding it through could take us for... It's going to have a big bundle, but feeding through is not just an easy thing.
After 50 minutes, they've only managed to get one length of rope in. To prevent the rope work from becoming a time-wasting disaster, Todd steps in.
The absolute heart of this machine are the rope bundles.
Yep.
Okay? The rope bundles are not tight, we're not going to get the performance out of the machine. So this has to be unbelievably tight.
Now Owen and Matt have come up with a new plan. They're using a large metal lever to hold the rope taut as they lock each strand into position.
Massive amount of tension. I mean, it works a treat.
So just have a little feel in there.
We should replace all that with bungee. That one, Matt did, is much softer, and that one is rock hard. Matt?
This lever works. It just needs an adjustment.
The other thing, I mean, this is not exactly user-friendly, I grant you.
No, it's I think the heaviest piece of steel Owen could find.
But
he was anticipating it bending.
Even you, Matt, are not that strong.
I know.
Yeah, is that acceptable?
I think that's acceptable. It's just going to be slow.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay.
The team have come up with a plan, but they still have nearly 300 metres of rope to work with. While they continue their epic task, I want to understand how the catapulta's amazing accuracy made a battle-winning weapon. And there's no better place in England where I can do that than Hod Hill, an Iron Age hill fort in Dorset. 2,000 years ago, there was a battle here between the invading Roman army and 5,000 ancient Britons who were defending the hill. Roman warfare expert Alan Wilkins is giving me a guided tour of the
Someone has put
battlefield.
it, none of these Celtic hill forts had a chance against the long-range catapult.
The Roman strategy was simple. They created a diversion with the bulk of their force, while a crack catapulta unit snuck up on the defenders, deafening them with deadly accurate fire.
It's a brilliant plan. You just hit the #1 spot, the chieftain's hut. The chieftain probably wouldn't be there, but his family would be. And they're all looking towards the gates, where the main attack to that gate and that gate. And no one really is looking this way. And there's showers of arrows, accurate, right into the chieftain's hut. All inside a 10-metre circle. Bang, 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 bang.
How far away is that?
130 metres.
The Romans were able to outgun the poorly equipped Britons, who were armed only with primitive slingshots. For the efficient professionals of the Roman army, the chieftain's hut was an easy target. From the rampart, this is well within range. The speed of these is going to be phenomenal.
Absolutely. You get one of those, even if you're not killed by that, you get one through your leg or arm. You can imagine people screaming as they're skewered. Mass panic, mass noise.
And still they keep firing.
And still they keep firing. And maybe the chief, whether he was at one gate there, probably would be informed, or he would hear this screaming, and he would come to investigate. And that's where he decided to be sensible and face facts and surrender to save his people's lives.
So you're telling me that it was the Torsen artillery that actually was instrumental in the victory here?
Well, that seems to be the case.
The catapultas that won the day here at Hod Hill were a fraction of the size of the one the team were attempting to build. And they offered enough destructive power to win the battle without even a fight. Back at Build HQ, the rope coils have become the focus of the entire team. It's taken 3 hours to get this far.
Oh man, that is actually genuinely impressive.
Overly pinging that is not a really good
Sorry,
idea.
yes. None of us have ever tried to stretch some 1-inch rope as much as we're having to do it today, so we're learning how to do it. It gives you a lot of respect for how the old fellas did it. It's not simply a case of just wrapping a rope around 2 points. We're literally creating pressures that you don't normally see with bits of rope and metal and wood. We're creating a monster.
After many testing hours, the rope coils are finally in place.
There you go. That's it.
That's amazing.
Done.
You can really imagine how much power's in them. They look like strained muscles, don't they?
It's now up to Chris and Owen to put the all-important twist into the rope coils. It's this twist that gives the catapulta its unique firing power. But will they actually be able to put the twist in? It's all down to how well they've constructed the torsion box.
No, if we can't turn it, we can't get the arms in.
Can't get the arms
and if
in.
we can't turn it to get a bit more tension in, we're not going to get any power. So let's give it a go. Biggest spanner I've ever used.
Just give it a bit to start with. They don't know what's going to happen.
It
moved. Yes!
It does
Hey,
move.
it moves. That moves really well. It's like we've tamed this. We've tamed the
I would
tension.
not be as confident as saying we've tamed it. It was great to be able to crank that nut and just see the whole thing moved. And you get an indication of how much tension is going through it, because we had an 8-foot lever on that and it was not easy. And we aren't even cranking the tension all the way up there. So it's an amazing amount of force and it worked. So, you know, it's nice to have something ticked off with our pile of bits.
After 2 days of construction, the team have finally made some progress. They've completed the torsion box.
If one of them ropes fails,
If the rope fails, then we're stuffed.
just but disastrous for the project.
Yeah, it would absolutely trash everything.
Yeah. We're knowing how long it takes to restring this thing.
I don't even want to think about that. I mean, there's no way we can break the ropes.
But with one build day left, the catapulta is far from finished, and they'll need to upgrade its capabilities if they're to succeed on test day. They'll have to start working on their ideas of modern innovation soon, or they'll run out of time. Here at Build HQ, the team are being stretched to the limit, attempting to build their own version of a mighty Roman war machine, the catapulta, a weapon that played a huge part in the Roman conquest in Europe, as nation after nation fell to the onslaught of their overwhelming firepower. The team have scaled up their catapulta to 1.5 times the size of the Roman version. It's the final morning of the build, and the team haven't made their task easier by making their weapon bigger.
It is coming together. There are bits of it being made all over the place. It's just going to be one of those things that... It does look like we've got a box, doesn't it? Chris is on the slide system. Claire is now on the trigger mechanism. James is doing winchy bits. It'll come together. Long way off.
To beat the ancestors, the team need to fire their boat over 350 metres. But to do so, they need to improve on an almost flawless design.
I'll drag you over here for a sec.
Go on, then.
Please.
This better be good.
Sir.
What have you got?
What we got here is we've got the potential to try and get a bit more velocity out of our...
That sounds positive.
We either try and meet the ancestors, and I think they've got our stuff, to be quite honest, or we try and beat them, and this is a way of trying to beat them.
In order to find an advantage over the Romans, Owen is delving deep into his knowledge of making crossbows. A major advancement in bow technology came in the 1960s, when a system of pulleys were added to the crossbow arms. The pulleys allow you to harness more power from the bow, therefore flinging the bolt further and making the modern crossbow a more effective weapon than its predecessor. With this in mind, Owen wants to add a similar system to the catapulta. This combination of ancient Roman catapulta and modern crossbow technology has never been tried before.
So anyway, this is it's a scale model. Little bits of elastic are acting like a torsion bundle.
But we'll have a lot more tension in ours.
We got like 5 kilos on this. We're going to hopefully have 2 or 3 tons.
Okay. Right.
Which changes everything.
Okay.
Nice.
Good.
Hey, that's quite good.
So it's certainly it's a modern advantage. It's complicated though.
That looks like either a recipe for disaster or a recipe for complete success.
It can't go any other way.
Should we have a show of hands?
All in favour?
Yeah, I'm in favour.
You're not sure?
Gives us our chance to beat the
come on.
ancestors.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I'll go with it, because, you know, I trust 100%, you know what you're on about, you know where you're going. I'm just a little bit worried that it might all fall apart or slap us in the face, that's all. Oh, I don't know. No, I'm sure it'll work all right. Obviously, Owen knows what he's on about with this. You know, he's done this sort of stuff before, so I've been told.
No one in the world has done this before, Jamie. Don't sell on that one.
All right.
we're up against the Romans. So, you know, there's only two things you can do. You can lose or you can try your best to win, and we're going to try our best to win. So, yeah, we're taking a risk. We're hedging our bets in a direction that isn't the most certain. But otherwise, we're just going to do a poor version of what they would have done really well.
The extra pulleys on the catapulta's arms could mean the difference between victory and defeat. Owen is putting his theory into practice with Chris's help.
So what we've got here is our bow arm in timber, clad in lightweight steel.
We're going very belt and braces. Whilst the Romans had incredibly well-engineered plans, what we're doing is making sure this thing won't fall apart.
Well, remember, they do have to be a decent weight because we've got that on the end of it.
Yeah, we have.
And this is an item that once it gets moving, is not going to be very interested in slowing down.
No, it's not.
So this gets crank, 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 bang. And once it gets to this point and stops...
Doesn't look good, though.
It looks phenomenal.
Good. Function aside and all that,
yeah, exactly.
It's dead sexy.
We'll call the machine the Undertaker or something.
Yeah.
Or the Widow Maker. Well, it's more going to be like the Insult Maker or the Humiliator. I've got a nagging doubt it's going to be massively underwhelming.
And I don't think it will.
Okay.
I'm going to put a pint on it.
All right, then.
Over the past 2 days, Todd has been keeping a close eye on the build. We're still a long way off seeing a catapulta.
Yes, there's work to be done. I mean, you can't deny that. But the ratchets and the trigger system are not that complicated, so I haven't got any fears about that. It just needs to get done. My biggest fear at this stage in the day is all about those arms. They're going in a middle ground that is utterly untested.
Hold on. Faint heart never won fair maiden, did it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, look, I'm in the engineering here. You know, this is, I'm overseeing this baby, and that's where my concern is. Please make it happen, because it will be a thing of fantastic beauty if they can make that run and run well.
Yeah.
But boy, have they bitten off a big task doing that.
The team are hoping the new bow arms will improve the accuracy and range of their catapulta. They're also hoping to improve on its destructive power. But it won't be easy, because 2,000 years ago, the Romans could fire armor-piercing bolts. Armed with his own hand-built crossbow, Todd's going to demonstrate how the Romans' catapulta bolt gave them the killer edge on the battlefield. It's quite a substantial piece of protection, this, isn't it? But the act of getting a bolt or an arrow to go through this takes an awful lot of energy.
Well, it does. I mean, you've got the power of the bow, but it's not all about power, because it's the shape of the head that is on the end of your arrow that matters a lot. You can shoot different projectiles at this, and some will go through and some won't go through, and it depends on the shape of the head.
I recognise that. That looks like an arrowhead that I grew up with.
Yeah, I mean, this is a blade head, and so what you've got are cutting edges on the side, and that's exactly what they're meant to do, and therefore they'll go through very easily. The problem with this is that, as you can see, it's actually very thin.
Yep.
And so it's a bit like trying to stab through steel, say, with a kitchen knife. You're just not going to do it. It's going to bend or it's going to break. If we look at these heads here, this one hits, there's no way that's going to bend. So the only other option is it either bounces off or it goes through.
On the top of this one, we got what's equivalent to sort of 4 blades.
Yeah.
So the point goes through and then it cuts its way through.
Yeah, and you'll see it's a really characteristic hole that the metal behind just folds out of the way in 4 little neat triangles. It takes much less energy. So that means that the energy of the bolt strikes, bends the metal, but you've still got bags of energy left to allow the arrow to go in.
Todd might be a great engineer, but what about his aim? I think I'll just step back a little. That is serious.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about. Basically, it's the cutting edges that allow it to go through. So you can see here.
It's just peeled it open, hasn't it?
Yeah, so you've got the 4 little cuts all the way around it.
You can just see why that is an armour-piercing arrowhead.
Yeah.
2,000 years ago, the Romans came up with an arrowhead that could go through sheet metal.
Yeah.
To unleash more destructive power than the Romans, the team will really have to bring out the big guns. Matt's been playing around in the workshop with a medieval recipe, and he's come up with a flaming brilliant idea for his new catapulta bolt.
It's always fun
making things that are going to ignite, blow up, combust, whatever. It's a bit...
It's a concoction of sugar and pitch, to which is added more naturally occurring ingredients, saltpeter and sulphur. The Romans would have had access to all of these. In fact, they used saltpeter to preserve food. As it burns, the saltpeter creates its own oxygen, which means it's almost impossible to extinguish.
So, Matt,
Yeah?
why have you dragged me outside in the rain?
OK, well, I want to show you something.
Yeah.
I'll put that there first of all. This is my fire putty. I want to show you what it does.
It's like a little cartoon bomb, isn't it?
Of course, it's quite malleable, so I've been able to pack that into that sort of spiked basket.
It's like Semtex, like plastic explosive almost.
Not explosive,
No.
just burny, nasty, volatile putty.
Well, no, whoa, what are you doing? Have you thought this through?
It's not a bomb.
And it's looking like it's going to explode
not a
in both
bomb.
our faces. Put it in that bucket of water, quick, put it out.
Despite being underwater, the fire putty keeps producing thick smoke. Chris wasn't expecting that.
It's still alight.
There it
It's
goes.
still alight.
This toxic smoke is caused by the sulphur and was known to the ancients as brimstone.
Nasty, acrid, sulphurous
Oh, my
smoke.
word, yeah.
Disorientating, you know, poisonous, horrible.
Matt has given the team the power to rain fire and brimstone
God.
upon their target.
There's a chance that this is the most fearsome part of our whole machine.
Yeah. And quite scary to launch.
Especially if we don't finish the machine.
With some killer ammo developed, all the team now need is a finished catapulta to fire it.
This catapulta at the minute, it looks like a pile of matchsticks. Pile of matchsticks with a few bits of metal laying around. Me being me, I want to see something. I want to see it all up and working, all that sort of stuff. But as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. But we've only got 3 days.
It's 7 p.m. on the final day of the build. Jamie and Claire are putting the finishing touches to the trigger and winch mechanisms. Chris is still working on the enormous wooden stand, while Owen is trying to finalise construction of the catapulta arms.
My winch is done by just putting it together.
Right.
I've just got to assemble it now.
You'll be happy when the thing gets winched back
I will when I go,
and stays winched back and doesn't release until it gets released.
That'll be all right.
I'll be happy if this frame doesn't fall over. And then Matt will be happy if the thing goes further than 50 feet.
And Owen will be happy if he just causes sheer havoc and destruction.
Owen will be happy if he cheers up. Which might or might not happen in the next week.
Owen's innovation, the new catapulta arms, are finally ready to be added to the torsion box. The rope coils are the beating heart of the catapulta, and the team can't afford for them to be damaged.
Go on, yeah, that's good. Let's go. Yeah, it's going. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
Wait, stop. I think the rope is being frayed. The rope has got a few slices out of it.
This could destroy the rope coils and threaten the entire project. Todd steps in before the build completely unravels.
Like sharp.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been...
It has unfortunately gone through a few strands.
There is a chance that one of these could give way.
A sharp edge has been left on the metal from where it's been cut or something like that. It started to cut the rope very slightly, which after all that work, making sure them rope bundles really in tight, if even one piece of rope is cut, it will lose all its tension and it will just act like a big spring and it will go round and round and round, all come loose, and we're back to square one.
Todd's on a damage limitation mission.
It might be worth getting a file in just for this little bit.
Last-minute woes have left a dark cloud hanging over Build HQ.
Silverton, stop there. Stop.
There you go, look at that. Oh my God.
But tomorrow, I'll be putting the team's catapulta to the test. 3 days of frantic building, it's test day. But how does the team's creation compare to the original? Standing an impressive 10 feet tall, it's a catapulta that's bigger than any built by the Romans.
I think this, if we lose to the ancestors, is going to be the best looking failure ever seen.
This is a true monster of a machine. To build it, the team have used 300 meters of rope, a ton of wood, and masses of metal cladding.
This has been a huge build. The fact that this awesome machine is ready for action in 3 days is like a miracle.
I asked the team to use all their modern engineering experience to improve on the Roman design. And Owen has staked his whole reputation on this innovation, a system of pulleys that have been added to the catapulta arms. But will the new arms actually work?
Yes.
Probably. We had 3 days and we did something bordering on completely ridiculous. I think it will work. I don't know it will work.
The arms will have to function properly if they're to launch Matt's incendiary bolts.
With the firebolts, we've got an early version of napalm.
The whole machine, it's massive.
It is just awesome.
The achievement for the team to knock that out in 3 days is phenomenal.
It is absolutely extraordinary. The care with which it's been put together is great.
So they have a catapulta, but can it compete with the original? I'll be testing the team's Roman war weapon in 3 key areas. Test 1, range. The Roman smaller machine could fling bolts 350 meters. That's longer than 3 football pitches. To win, the team must better this distance. But in the race to complete the build, the team haven't had time to test their machine. And coupled with the fact that they damaged the rope springs, they don't know whether the catapulta will actually fire.
We don't know what's going to happen until we actually pull the trigger on it. We don't know what's going to happen at all, and it could be catastrophic.
The main dangers from this thing, apart from it chucking something out the other end, are maybe the pulleys collapsing. If anyone sees anything unsafe,
Say.
yeah.
Anything can happen. The worst scenario is our actual torsion boxes, our rope snapping, and then it's sort of like game over, really.
The catapulta is about to be unleashed.
This is the moment of truth. This really is. I am so excited about seeing this.
If it misfires, then anybody stood next to the machine is in for a nasty surprise.
I've done it, my heart's going a little bit.
Yeah, mine.
Safety pin going in.
Claire's going to have to check that pin because if the trigger slides under full load, you know, that signifies trouble.
As the arms are pulled back, the rope springs are straining in the opposite direction, building up the power to launch the bolt. If the trigger mechanism fails now, Matt could lose his hand.
Don't mess about in there.
Trigger bar forward. You're in, check the pin.
Once
Then
Claire
walk back to
removes
fire.
this pin, the catapulta is armed and ready to fire.
Come on, Gav.
Right, release the pin. Right, release the pin.
Whoa! Everybody steps away now.
On your word, Owen.
Okay.
Come on, do it.
And Claire, fire. That's really good. That's much better than I thought. That's excellent. That's really good.
I'll tell you what, Owen, I eat my words on that cam system. Well done, mate.
So the catapulta works, but has it made the grade?
What have we got there, please, Todd?
168.
The team were over 150 meters short.
So 1-0 to the ancestors at this stage. Time for accuracy.
Test 2, accuracy. In 43 AD, at the Battle of Hod Hill, the Romans were able to hit the chieftain's hut time and time again with pinpoint accuracy. On the test range, I've recreated the chieftain's hut. All I failed to conjure up are some very angry ancient Britons. I'm giving the team 5 bolts, and they have to get at least 3 of them within the compound.
Machine is live.
Okay, here we go, team.
Yeah, shooting right, shooting right.
The first shot has fallen a metre short of the target.
4 shots left. Let's crack on.
So the team are readjusting the elevation of the catapulta.
Fire! Totally different.
Well, that was way off.
Yeah, it was.
2 bolts down. This next bolt has to hit home. Otherwise, they're out of the game.
It's okay, we still can do this.
Yeah, this one's so important.
Machine is live.
Right, here we go. Let's make a break.
Now that's looking better. That's looking better.
It's in the compound. I think it went in just behind the hook.
But is the bolt in or out? I've sent Todd off to investigate.
Arrow head 6 inches outside of the back wall. The other 1.4 metres of arrow inside the compound.
That's a win.
That's a hit.
I'm sorry, but as the adjudicator,
That's a hit.
I agree. Come on, well done. Whoa, 2 more to go, team.
The team has to get the next 2 shots on target, otherwise they've failed the test.
Nice, nice,
Start
nice.
looking better. That's good. Oh! No!
The 4th bolt has missed the compound. The team can't beat the Romans in accuracy. So on the final test, they'll just be playing for pride. Test 3. Destructive power. To prevent a 3-0 whitewash by the ancestors, the team are pinning all their hopes on Matt's revolutionary new catapulta bolt. While the Romans had a bolt that could smash through the armour of the enemy, Matt's hoping to prove that his incendiary device could smoke out the residents of a whole hut with its poisonous sulfuric fumes.
Fire it, little cat.
It's caught.
Go on, it's going, it's going. Hang on. Go on, it's going, it's going.
It's in!
Any ancient Britons would have just minutes to evacuate the hut or be overcome by the toxic gas.
You're incendiary. You've done exactly what you had to do.
It may be a defeat, but I'm still impressed with what the team have managed to achieve.
Sadly, commiserations, team. You didn't win on the range. You didn't win on the accuracy. However, what an amazing machine. Congratulations. That was a phenomenal effort.
Absolutely not a defeat whatsoever. To build this thing in 3 days, bigger, longer, incendiary devices. See, that's not a defeat in anyone's book.
Am I disappointed? No, I'm not. I thought the whole thing was beautiful. I mean, we didn't win. They got beaten by the might of Imperial Rome. Always going to happen, unfortunately. So I thought the machine went amazingly. I would like to play with it forever.
Next time, a weapon that changed naval warfare forever. The Byzantine flame-throwing firebolt.
Oh, so exciting. We're going to build a flamethrower.
It's complete evil warfare.
Look at that.
But it all gets too much for Jamie.
Well, if it's not going to happen today, I need to know what's happening.
Enough, going home.
Oh, yeah. Burn!